Hey guys, y'all know not real comfortable behind the camera or in front, for that matter. But gave y'all a couple of my setups yesterday on how I do things. And let's just talk a little bit about racing today. I might be all over the place, back and forth, saying something a couple times. Because for me, there is no straight way of telling you how to do this. Do this, do this, do this, your car's working. There's so many factors involved. And let's go over a little bit about the Venturi thing that's going on. Let me back up a little bit. Guys, keep it simple. You have to keep this simple or you're going to get overwhelmed. And then it becomes no fun, you get frustrated, and you set them on the shelf. That's not the object. So, the object's to have fun with these guys, and that keep it simple. Venturis, let's talk about them a little bit. And for example, we're going to use the 7-port engine. These 7 ports come with a 7-point millimeter inside of them. I think they'll give you a 6.0 and an 8.0. The reason they do this is they don't know where you live or the altitude or the humidity or the barometer readings, the barometric pressure, guys. That's the word, barometric pressure. I hear nobody talking about that. That's so important, guys. When I go racing back in the day, I had one sitting, I think Raj actually has one now, but I had one sitting, I'd read that, and I would tune off of that. The more humidity, the more pressure you get, lean or richen, blah, blah, blah. Going back to the Venturis. Keep it simple, guys. The 7 ports, you're either going to run a 7.0 millimeter or a 6.5, and we're talking racing, guys. It's going to be either one. It's not going to be a 9. It's not going to be an 8. It's not going to be a 6. Well, it could possibly be a 6, but doubtful. But all you have to have in your box is a 6.5 and a 7. If you're over 4,000 elevation, run the 7. You're under, you run a 6.5. Period. Because you have molecules in your air that can, that's the thickness. And these engines can only burn so much. Water. Yes, water in the air. So that's where the Venturis really become apart. Yes, you can lower your Venturi to get better fuel mileage, but you're lowering your horsepower as well. But if you have your engine running right, your right Venturi in there, it's not as easy as saying, okay, I'm putting an 8 in and it's going to run better. Not necessarily, guys, because of the quality of the air. So keep it simple. Truggies, you start out with a 7, over 4,000 elevation, run a 7.5, maybe an 8. Buggies, I would start with a 6.5, and then up to a 7, maybe a 7.5. I doubt it. But that's pretty much all you need to do on those. What else? So try to keep it simple. Let's go on some other things that I want to talk about. I see a lot of guys, first they want to do, they call them updates, or they think just because there's a part out there or an item out there, and these are not necessarily parts that are going to make your race vehicle better. So you got to be careful in what you're buying, because some of it's just, hop up parts for maybe bashing or something, but you got to be real careful, especially with these guys. And the newer cars, even more so, and you can see they're going to this. But I don't know if you can see my finger. Yeah, right here, the chassis braces, I see a lot of guys go to those aluminum ones straight down. Man, why would you do that? I know why. Because everybody's thinking, just stiffen it up. Racing moral, man, that's not what we want to do. We want this chassis to twist a little bit. These chassis actually work. If you can put enough grip down, I'm not saying you're going to see it with your eyeballs twist, but yes, they do work. These chassis work. So, racers, I'd stay with the stock, and then you can order a shorter one. But for racing, now for bashing, yeah, put it in there, stiffen it up, make it more durable. I get it. But if you're trying to get on the racetrack with this, it's not going to let your chassis work. It's going to bind it up. Weird things are going to happen. So, another thing that I want to talk about, we have the carbon fiber underneath. This one we don't. But it really makes a difference. What we noticed is coming off a corner, like almost like not an S, but like a little chicane, into a chicane. The car would body roll a little bit, but when we put the stiffeners underneath it, it stiffened the arms up where it planted real hard, and it kept it stiff, and the chassis, we could see it moving a little bit more and keeping the back end planted. So that was a cool thing to learn. So definitely going to put those on all the cars now. The stiffeners, they arm stiffeners. What else? Oh, another thing, guys. Going racing. Setting it up out of a box setup, that's cool. Yeah, do that. That's great. But each time out, what I would recommend, one adjustment at a time, guys. You throw 2 or 3 adjustments on it, you're not going to know what you made right or what you made wrong or what worked, or if you're fighting each other with them. So you make one adjustment at a time, then go out. One adjustment at a time, go out. And it takes time. It takes time, guys. Especially for the new guy. You're going to go out there and you're going to have it set up one way and it ain't going to work. And then go, got to go home, got to do it again. Come back to the track, do it again. Go back, repeat. Do it again, repeat. And finally you're going to go, all right, I'm on. But if you start throwing different things, well, do this, I want to change this, and that, you're going to get lost. It goes back to keep this simple, guys. Keep it simple. Set your car up out of the box. Or listen to somebody that you trust. Make one adjustment at a time. But with that being said, new guys that are coming in and racing, you've got to know what you do to this whip. To know where it's going to do to what. Are you going to get lost and you're going to be fighting yourself and you're going to be scrambling back to the internet to see everything and you're going to get confused again. So you set your car up, go out, one adjustment at a time, one adjustment at a time. Come back, do some research on what your car did. Look at a couple videos. Go back out. Don't go to the track throwing the kitchen sink at it, because you're going to get lost, and I guarantee you when you leave that track, you ain't going to know where you're at or where you've been. You just know you can put some wear and tear on your whip. So, what else? Patience, guys. It's patience, Don't get caught up in, well, he does it this way, or he does it that way. There's not every racer does it exactly the same, but they're all in, you got 10 different racers out there in the let's say 10 in the A main. They don't all do it the same, guys, but guess what? The end result is they're in the same spot. They're in the A main. So pick and choose on who you want to take advice from, but with that being said, you have to do your own trial and error and see what fits you, your racing style, what you like. You know, and what you're comfortable with. Being comfortable is, you know, a lot of other guys. You know, races are won in the shop. Listen to an old man tell you that. Races are won right here in the shop first. That makes me hit on a couple of videos I see. Guys, man, you're breaking your cars. We all know who I'm talking about. Running across a freaking pasture or a football field or a baseball field or whatever that is. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Or whatever. We move on. So today, I'm ripping it down, going to the, remember, you heard it here, on Family Affair First. 3 aluminums, 1 carbon, race setup, guys. Boom. This one has a 7.0 because that's the way it came from the factory. It's going to a 6.5. I'm going to run 10, 7, 3. -1 on everything. I run a little toe out. Ooh, and that's another thing I wanted to hit on, guys. Big thing. Very, you know, overlooked. A lot of guys like to run their stuff, you know, straight, center, straightforward. That looks cool. You know, when you set it up, it's like, oh, hey, man, that's straight. That's got to work better. Well, what happens there, if you have it straight forward or even towed in a tad, is what we call darting. And your car will go and it'll be straight. You know, you're on the drive, I mean, you're out in front of your house on the street and it just drives straight. But when you start getting on the track and you start to turn and having to go in the turns, it starts what we call darting. It'll dart on you. Almost too much drive in the front. It starts darting. You do not want it to dart. So, easy fix, guys. Tone out just a tad. Just a tad. Not like the Muffy. Did y'all see his tire? The left one straight, then this right one over here. It's like this. Wow. Anyway, a little bit of toe out, guys. Just a little bit. Car will drive straight. Won't be as twitchy. It won't dive on you like that. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Underdrive, guys. Gearing, man. I hear everybody, you know, want to get the best motor, the best combination. Spending your too much time. Too much time out here. If you have an older style motor, Nova Rossi, come on. Everybody knows. 9901 with the match, what's it, the 92, 21, or 20, I forget because I'm on the race now. Put it on your Nova Rossi and go. It's over with. Quit thinking about it. Boom, it's done. It's over with. Move on to your buggy. That's going to be a good setup because you're going to run through a lot of engines before you get to the point where you're worried that little tick being faster with your engine. You got other problems to worry about. Got to get your car hooked up. Older style motor, most of y'all have the older Novies. Put the 9901 in and 21 pipe or the 20 manifold and 21 manifold or the 20 manifold. Those are the last two numbers. With a 9901 and rock it. Be done. Forget about it. Start working on your chassis. Start working on these things. This is what's going to make you faster. Get you a good, stable motor. The old Novies, old Reds, 5 ports, fine. Rock it. Forget about it. Too much time spent on tuning these engines and how to do this and do this. Man, I'm a clutch and I'm a pipe guy, an engine guy, but man, I sure love hooking these cars up. Another thing I want to suggest. Guys, put 3 in the back, period, and be done with it for a while. The guys that are learning. This is the guys that are trying to go racing. Work off your center diff is drive. The front will drive too, but its main job is to create the diff with drive. So think about it that way. Drive, strictly drive, drive with diff, more diff for rotation back here. Leave this one alone because everybody's going to be looking for rotation, the new guy. Look at how much drive and how much you can handle, how squirrely and how much you like. How, is it toned down or is it radical? Right there. Then on the front, are you turning? Is it pulling? You see it pulling. That's going to help you there. Look at those things. Don't overwhelm yourself, guys. That's the whole point of this. Keep it simple. Find a good combination. Work with your diff oils in your setup. And be done. I'm out.